She moved across the central parade ground carrying routine supply requisitions and maintenance schedules, her boots crunching softly against gravel pathways that connected administrative buildings throughout Fort Richardson's sprawling military complex. The afternoon shift change brought typical base activity as personnel transitioned between training exercises and administrative duties, their conversations mixing with the mechanical sounds of vehicles and equipment that supported daily operations for 8,000 military personnel stationed at this remote installation. But from the command headquarters building, where senior officers coordinated training operations and personnel assignments, a voice suddenly shattered her anonymous passage with words that made every soldier within hearing distance stop their activities and turn toward her in recognition and growing curiosity. Captain Reyes. Captain Elena Reyes, report to my office immediately. The rank echoed across the yard with unmistakable authority, but she had been Specialist Martinez for 3 years now, serving in supply logistics with no connection to the officer designation that had just identified her to hundreds of witnessing personnel. Specialist Elena Martinez felt her requisition forms scatter in the sudden breeze as she processed the impossible command. Colonel Harrison was calling her by a rank she had never held, using a surname that belonged to her classified past, addressing her with authority that suggested knowledge of identity records that had been officially sealed and buried. The rank designation was connecting her current assignment with previous service that had been erased from standard military databases and replaced with conventional enlisted history that matched her current duties. She wasn't commissioned, wasn't qualified for officer responsibilities, wasn't prepared for the recognition that her carefully maintained cover identity was being exposed by someone with access to information that shouldn't exist. From which military installation around the world are you following this identity story today? If you appreciate narratives that explore buried service records and the hidden ranks within military personnel files, consider subscribing for more content that reveals the administrative ghosts that haunt modern military service. Fort Richardson occupied 12,000 acres of strategically positioned territory in the Alaskan wilderness, its training facilities and logistical operations representing the most comprehensive military preparation center, supporting Arctic warfare operations and cold weather combat training for forces deployed throughout northern territories. The installation served as the primary coordination center for extreme environment training programs, combining specialized equipment testing, personnel conditioning, and advanced tactical instruction that prepared military units for operations in the world's most challenging environmental conditions. Located at the intersection of multiple training zones, the base had been constructed with redundant supply systems and hardened facilities designed to maintain training operations even under extreme weather conditions that regularly tested both equipment and personnel capabilities. Advanced logistics networks processed supplies and equipment from hundreds of sources simultaneously, creating comprehensive support systems that sustained training operations while maintaining readiness for deployment to combat zones requiring specialized Arctic warfare capabilities. The base administrative architecture incorporated decades of advancement in personnel management and record security, including underground data centers, classified file protection, and automated tracking systems that maintain detailed histories of military service while protecting sensitive information from unauthorized access. Personnel records contained multiple classification levels that preserved operational security while enabling appropriate assignment decisions based on specialized training and security clearances. Specialist Elena Martinez descended from the supply warehouse carrying routine inventory reports and equipment maintenance logs, her security clearance providing access to areas that few enlisted personnel were authorized to enter during their military careers, though her current assignment to basic logistics duties seemed inconsistent with the extensive background investigation required. For her clearance level, the investigation process for her current position had required 36 months of federal scrutiny that examined every aspect of her personal and professional history, though investigators had encountered classified files that remained sealed at classification levels exceeding their authorization to review. At 31 years old, she possessed specialized training from the Army Special Operations Command's Advanced Leadership Development Program, having completed classified coursework in tactical command, special operations planning, and experimental military leadership before her reassignment to conventional logistics duties following a program dissolution that had eliminated entire training cohorts and buried leadership development that exceeded current organizational capabilities. Her service record listed standard supply specialization and routine assignment history, though these official designations concealed command expertise and operational experience that had been classified following organizational restructuring and strategic decisions that eliminated programs deemed too advanced for current military requirements. Her training background included instruction at leadership facilities whose existence was denied by congressional oversight committees, where military contractors and behavioral scientists developed leadership methodologies that pushed the boundaries of current command theory and tactical planning capabilities. The programs she had completed involved theoretical command structures, advanced decision-making systems, and experimental leadership mechanisms that prepared personnel for command scenarios that conventional military training could not address. Her instructors had included distinguished military leaders and former special operations commanders whose experience encompassed decades of classified research into military applications of advanced leadership and tactical coordination. The decision to accept reassignment to logistics duties rather than civilian separation had been influenced by contractual obligations and security requirements that prevented her from discussing or utilizing specialized knowledge gained through classified leadership programs. Her presence within conventional military units provided routine assignment and security oversight, while her command background remained available for consultation on operations that required her specific expertise and security clearance levels. Colonel Marcus Harrison supervised the afternoon training coordination with authority gained through 24 years of military service and advanced education in personnel management and special operations planning. His expertise encompassing complex training assessment and leadership development that prepared American forces for increasingly challenging operational environments. His background included command assignments throughout Special Operations Command and liaison duties with training research organizations that developed next-generation leadership technologies. His Distinguished Service Medal and multiple achievement ribbons reflected exceptional performance in both operational command and strategic training assignments that shaped American military leadership capabilities. The colonel's military career had evolved from conventional infantry operations to strategic personnel development, including classified assignments with research organizations and training agencies that developed advanced leadership systems and command technologies. His transition from tactical command to strategic training had been driven by recognition that modern warfare required leadership sophistication and specialized preparation that exceeded traditional military boundaries and required interdisciplinary expertise in human performance and organizational psychology. Around the classified training table sat representatives from Special Operations Command, Personnel Command, Training and Doctrine Command, and various military contractors, each contributing specialized expertise to leadership assessment and personnel development procedures that prepared American forces for complex operational challenges and specialized mission requirements. The assembled group represented decades of collective experience in military training, leadership development, and organizational management that maintained American military superiority through superior personnel preparation. Major Patricia Williams, the Personnel Development Coordinator responsible for training assessment and leadership identification, possessed 16 years of experience in advanced military education and held security clearances that provided access to the most sensitive personnel records regarding specialized training and leadership capabilities. Her technical background included specialized training in psychological assessment, leadership evaluation, and performance measurement procedures that enabled identification of exceptional leadership potential while maintaining appropriate personnel security and career development. Major Williams's expertise bridged the gap between theoretical leadership development and practical military requirements, translating advanced behavioral science into functional training systems that prepared exceptional personnel for specialized responsibilities while maintaining readiness for challenges that might exceed current leadership preparation. Her role required constant evaluation of training effectiveness, personnel assessments, and leadership potential estimates to ensure adequate preparation for evolving military requirements. The training team under Williams's coordination represented carefully selected specialists recruited from leading military institutions and behavioral research organizations, each bringing unique expertise to the complex challenge of developing military leadership while maintaining organizational security that preserved operational effectiveness. Their work remained largely classified, but their training decisions directly influenced leadership development and personnel preparation that protected American military capabilities. Captain Robert Thompson, the training operations officer responsible for exercise coordination and personnel evaluation, possessed extensive experience in advanced training operations and leadership assessment that enabled identification and development of exceptional military talent through sophisticated evaluation programs and specialized instruction procedures. His understanding of training methodology encompassed both conventional leadership development and experimental approaches that pushed the boundaries of current military education and provided capabilities that exceeded standard training programs. The training commander's background included specialized instruction in advanced pedagogy, performance psychology, and leadership measurement methodologies that enabled identification of exceptional leadership characteristics and potential that conventional evaluation systems might overlook. His responsibility for personnel development required constant innovation and strategic thinking that anticipated future leadership requirements while maintaining training effectiveness for emerging military challenges. Colonel, recent personnel evaluations indicate possible misassignment of qualified leadership candidates to routine duties that fail to utilize their specialized training and command potential, Major Williams reported, her voice carrying analytical precision that characterized professional personnel assessment. Personnel command sources suggest buried service records and leadership qualifications that don't match current assignments, though specific classification details remain restricted above our briefing level. Her assessment reflected constant evolution of personnel management that characterized contemporary military administration, where qualified leaders were sometimes assigned to conventional duties that failed to utilize their specialized capabilities and training investments. The evaluation indicated systemic issues that required enhanced personnel review and updated assignment procedures to maintain leadership effectiveness and appropriate utilization of training resources. The current personnel assessment represented months of administrative analysis that had identified patterns suggesting qualified officers serving in enlisted capacities and leadership-trained personnel assigned to routine duties that failed to match their qualifications. Personnel intelligence sources had reported assignment discrepancies and training records that indicated preparation for responsibilities that exceeded current position requirements and suggested systematic underutilization of qualified personnel. Major, what specific capabilities do our current personnel systems provide for identifying misassigned leadership candidates and ensuring appropriate utilization of specialized training that personnel have received? Colonel Harrison inquired, his question reflecting command responsibility for understanding assignment effectiveness and ensuring adequate leadership development for military operations and organizational requirements. The question addressed core challenges facing personnel planners in contemporary military administration, where specialized training created capabilities that might exceed current assignment practices and required strategic decisions about career development and leadership utilization priorities. The assessment of current personnel management versus leadership requirements was critical for determining organizational effectiveness and planning requirements. Sir, we've enhanced our personnel evaluation protocols and implemented advanced assessment algorithms designed to identify leadership qualifications and specialized training that might be underutilized in current assignments, Captain Thompson explained. His report reflecting systematic approach to personnel optimization that balanced leadership capabilities with organizational limitations of current assignment systems and career development programs. However, some classification restrictions could prevent identification and proper utilization of specialized qualifications, requiring administrative review and strategic planning that might take months to implement effectively. His analysis highlighted fundamental challenges facing modern personnel management, where classification requirements created barriers to appropriate assignment, while specialized training investments demanded utilization that challenged existing organizational structures. The balance between current assignment practices and leadership optimization required continuous review and strategic planning that anticipated organizational developments before they materialized into actual personnel shortages or leadership gaps. Martinez quietly moved through the parade ground areas conducting routine logistics duties, her movements deliberately casual and systematic to avoid attracting attention while she processed the psychological impact of serving in assignments that failed to utilize her specialized leadership training and command qualifications. Her classified background enabled recognition of organizational inefficiencies and personnel management limitations that conventional personnel might interpret incorrectly or fail to understand entirely. Her experience in experimental leadership development provided unique perspective on assignment limitations and organizational capabilities that informed her understanding of military personnel management and strategic planning. Though her classified training history remained unknown to conventional personnel, who viewed her as dedicated logistics specialist with unusual attention to detail and organizational effectiveness. The logistics activities that Martinez conducted served multiple purposes beyond routine supply management, allowing her to evaluate organizational systems and identify potential leadership gaps through pattern recognition techniques learned during classified training programs. Her specialized knowledge enabled recognition of systemic inefficiencies that conventional administrative procedures might overlook, providing insights that could enhance overall organizational effectiveness and leadership utilization. The parade ground facilities represented months of construction and engineering designed to provide optimal training coordination and personnel development, while supporting daily operations that maintain base readiness and organizational effectiveness. Advanced communication systems, redundant logistics networks, and comprehensive training infrastructure created operational advantages that sustained military readiness even under challenging conditions and organizational pressures. The organizational specifications that guided base operations incorporated lessons learned from previous assignments and theoretical advances in personnel management developed by military administrators and behavioral scientists. Each administrative component had been carefully designed to provide personnel oversight and organizational flexibility that eliminated assignment gaps while maintaining efficiency for routine operations and specialized training requirements. Specialist Martinez continues standard logistics procedures but remain alert for any unusual organizational patterns or administrative discrepancies that might indicate personnel management inefficiencies or assignment problems. Captain Thompson instructed, her guidance reflecting standard administrative protocols while acknowledging analytical background that Martinez brought to organizational evaluation and logistics activities. Her instructions contained subtle recognition of Martinez's analytical expertise and organizational capabilities that exceeded standard logistics training. Though the acknowledgement remained coded in language that preserved operational security regarding her classified background and specialized knowledge that other personnel were not authorized to access. Martinez positioned herself near the administrative buildings while maintaining routine logistics duties that provided cover for observing organizational operations and personnel management that might indicate assignment gaps or leadership utilization problems. Her experimental command training enabled recognition of organizational capabilities and leadership parameters that conventional personnel might interpret incorrectly or fail to evaluate properly. The observation activities that Martinez conducted automatically incorporated advanced analytical techniques learned during classified training programs that emphasized organizational innovation and strategic thinking beyond conventional personnel management. Her ability to evaluate military organizations enabled identification of potential improvements and inefficiencies that purely logistics thinking might miss entirely. The colonel's command announcement became audible across the parade ground approximately 20 minutes into her duty shift, the specific rank designation and surname identification triggering recognition that connected her current assignment with classified training programs that had developed leadership capabilities exceeding current organizational utilization. The command characteristics indicated genuine personnel recognition rather than routine administrative procedures, suggesting organizational crisis that demanded immediate attention and specialized leadership expertise. Her recognition of the Captain Reyes designation reflected training participation and leadership development that connected her to programs that officially never existed qualifications where her command potential had been developed and then buried through program dissolution rather than organizational restructuring that enabled appropriate utilization of her specialized capabilities. The rank designations used indicated leadership recognition that suggested either security compromise or emergency situations that justified revealing buried qualifications and specialized training history. The command announcement's authority and public nature indicated genuine leadership recognition rather than administrative error or routine procedures, though the security implications of using classified rank information created complexity that demanded careful evaluation and appropriate response procedures. The authenticity of the recognition required verification, while security protocols demanded protection of classified training and leadership development programs. Instead of immediately responding to the rank recognition, Martinez carefully evaluated the announcement for authority indicators and personnel parameters that would verify its legitimacy while protecting classified training information from potential enemy intelligence gathering or organizational compromise. Her experimental leadership training included extensive instruction in personnel security and command procedures designed to prevent enemy exploitation of American leadership development and organizational capabilities. The evaluation process required balancing immediate command response with security protocols that protected classified training and leadership development from organizational compromise or enemy intelligence gathering. Her specialized background provided knowledge necessary for proper personnel verification while maintaining operational security that protected ongoing training programs and leadership development capabilities. The rank parameters embedded within the colonel's command matched classified leadership protocols that Martinez recognized from her experimental command training, indicating legitimate personnel recognition using advanced administrative access rather than routine personnel management or system errors attempting to create false identity recognition. The proper use of her classified designation suggested organizational awareness that exceeded current assignment planning and indicated leadership requirements that posed immediate challenges to base operations and personnel management. Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Davis, the Personnel Administration Specialist responsible for monitoring service records and coordinating administrative evaluation, noticed unusual personnel recognition patterns through automated tracking systems designed to identify assignment discrepancies and coordinate appropriate personnel utilization procedures. Colonel, we have personnel recognition involving classification levels that don't match current assignment records. The leadership designation appears to utilize specialized training and command qualifications that exceed our current personnel database and administrative planning assumptions. Her report reflected base personnel capabilities that monitored multiple service records and identified potential assignment problems through automated analysis of qualification characteristics and organizational requirements. The tracking systems represented advanced administrative technology designed to provide early identification of personnel utilization problems and coordinate administrative responses that protected organizational effectiveness from leadership gaps and training underutilization. The personnel intelligence gathered by Davis's systems provided critical information about leadership capabilities and assignment methodologies that informed organizational planning and personnel development procedures. The administrative analysis of service records enabled assessment of training effectiveness while maintaining personnel protocols that protected military operations from leadership shortages and organizational inefficiencies. Lieutenant Colonel Davis, can your systems identify the specific leadership qualifications and confirm the training parameters that enable specialized command designation recognition? Colonel Harrison inquired, his question reflecting command responsibility for understanding personnel capabilities while coordinating appropriate administrative responses that protected organizational effectiveness and leadership development. The colonel's response demonstrated systematic approach to personnel assessment that characterized effective military leadership, where qualification recognition required immediate evaluation and appropriate administrative action while maintaining personnel oversight that informed strategic planning for future leadership requirements. The priority placed on understanding personnel capabilities reflected recognition that leadership development required adaptive organizational strategies and appropriate utilization of specialized training investments. Martinez approached the command headquarters with measured steps that maintained her cover as routine logistics personnel while providing critical information about the leadership qualifications and command capabilities that had been recognized through her specialized training background. Her experimental command training enabled accurate evaluation of personnel requirements and organizational needs that conventional personnel might misinterpret or fail to understand entirely. Her movement toward the headquarters building appeared routine to casual observers, but represented calculated decision-making that balanced security requirements with command obligations and leadership responsibilities. The specialized knowledge that informed her evaluation could provide critical insights for appropriate organizational responses and personnel assessment that enhanced military effectiveness. Sir, I recognize the leadership designation and command qualification systems that were referenced in your personnel recognition, Martinez reported, her voice maintaining professional military bearing while conveying information that reflected specialized training and command experience that exceeded her current assignment parameters. The command qualifications are based on experimental leadership development that was conducted through classified training programs, but the public recognition suggests organizational requirements or personnel crisis that exceeds current assignment planning and administrative capabilities. Her assessment provided context for the leadership recognition that enabled appropriate organizational responses and strategic evaluation of personnel capabilities and training utilization. The distinction between experimental training and operational requirements was critical for determining organizational needs and understanding leadership development that enhanced military effectiveness and command capability. Major Williams studied Martinez with renewed interest, her personnel background enabling recognition that the assessment demonstrated command knowledge that exceeded standard logistics training and suggested specialized background in classified leadership development and experimental command programs. Specialist Martinez, your knowledge of experimental leadership systems is remarkably comprehensive for logistics operations. Can you elaborate on the specific training characteristics that suggest organizational requirements beyond current personnel planning and assignment capabilities? Her question reflected institutional curiosity about Martinez's command expertise and sources of specialized knowledge that enabled accurate personnel assessment under organizational stress conditions. The precision of her evaluation suggested training backgrounds that exceeded her official military occupational specialty and indicated possible classified assignments or experimental program participation that enhanced her leadership qualifications. Ma'am, the leadership qualification capability requires integration of advanced command training, real-time decision-making systems, and specialized personnel databases that combine multiple classification levels and training programs, Martinez explained. Her response demonstrating command knowledge that reflected specialized instruction in experimental leadership development and advanced command systems that exceeded conventional military training programs. The public recognition of this designation suggests either significant organizational requirements or personnel crisis that exceeds current assignment capabilities and indicates leadership needs that threaten operational effectiveness. Her explanation provided specific command details that supported her personnel assessment while demonstrating knowledge that exceeded routine military training and suggested specialized education or leadership experience that characterized experimental command development rather than standard military career progression. The command sophistication of her analysis indicated familiarity with experimental leadership technology and training methodologies that exceeded conventional personnel development. The detailed nature of Martinez's leadership assessment impressed assembled officers, who recognized that her command capabilities exceeded expectations for her current assignment and suggested potential for enhanced responsibilities within organizational leadership and personnel development activities. Her demonstrated expertise represented valuable leadership assets that could enhance organizational effectiveness and command capability evaluation that strengthened military operations. Specialist Martinez, your analysis suggests significant experience with experimental leadership development and advanced command systems that exceed current organizational utilization, Colonel Harrison observed, his comment reflecting recognition that Martinez's capabilities extended beyond standard logistics qualifications and indicated specialized training or command background that warranted immediate organizational attention. Have you received additional instruction in leadership development or experimental command programs that explain your exceptional analytical capabilities? The question addressed institutional curiosity about Martinez's background while acknowledging that her demonstrated capabilities suggested qualifications that exceeded her current assignment and indicated potential for expanded responsibilities within organizational leadership and command development activities that could enhance base effectiveness and personnel utilization. Sir, I participated in Army Special Operations Command experimental leadership programs before my current assignment. Martinez replied carefully, providing information that explained her capabilities while maintaining operational security regarding classified training and command development that other personnel were not authorized to access or understand. My background includes training in advanced command systems, leadership development, and experimental organizational mechanisms that prepare personnel for specialized command responsibilities. Her response provided context for her exceptional performance while maintaining appropriate operational security regarding classified training programs and experimental leadership technologies that informed her personnel assessment and command analysis methodology. The acknowledgement of Special Operations Command training background explained her exceptional capabilities while preserving security regarding specific programs and leadership development that enhanced military effectiveness. The revelation of Martinez's experimental leadership training background provided explanation for her exceptional command assessment capabilities while raising serious questions about her assignment to routine logistics duties that dramatically underutilized her specialized qualifications and leadership training investments. Her presence within conventional military units suggested administrative errors or organizational inefficiencies that had resulted in her command expertise being completely wasted through inappropriate assignment decisions. Colonel Harrison made an immediate command decision that reflected institutional recognition of specialized capabilities and urgent need to coordinate appropriate leadership utilization requiring her specific expertise and command qualifications. Captain Martinez, you are immediately restored to your proper rank and reassigned to command operations as Senior Leadership Coordinator. Major Williams, integrate Martinez into command planning with appropriate clearances and coordinate organizational review of current personnel utilization procedures. The rank restoration represented acknowledgement that Martinez's specialized capabilities were critical for organizational effectiveness and ensuring appropriate leadership utilization that enhanced military operations while maintaining command security and personnel development. Her demonstrated competence in leadership assessment aligned perfectly with organizational requirements that demanded sophisticated command capabilities and experimental leadership knowledge that strengthened base operations. The immediate nature of the restoration reflected military efficiency in correcting administrative errors when organizational situations demanded specialized knowledge and command understanding that enhanced operational effectiveness. Colonel Harrison's decision demonstrated leadership flexibility that enabled rapid adaptation to personnel requirements and unexpected capabilities within existing military resources that strengthened organizational effectiveness. Major Williams provided Martinez with advanced command equipment that reflected genuine recognition of her specialized background and leadership assessment capabilities that enhanced organizational effectiveness. Welcome to Command Operations, Captain Martinez. Your leadership expertise represents exactly the knowledge we need for handling advanced organizational challenges and experimental personnel development that strengthens military effectiveness. Her welcome represented beginning of command relationships based on demonstrated capability rather than administrative assumptions about where specialized expertise might be located within military organizations. The recognition of Martinez's experimental leadership background promised opportunities to contribute meaningfully to critical organizational operations that protected effectiveness while maintaining command security and personnel development that enhanced military capabilities. The professional respect implicit in Williams's welcome reflected fundamental shift in how Martinez would be viewed within the military organization during command operations and leadership development activities. Her transition from routine logistics duties to specialized command responsibilities demonstrated potential for exceptional leadership talent to emerge from inappropriate assignments when organizational situations demanded specialized capabilities and command expertise. The organizational response that Martinez coordinated resulted in comprehensive personnel review and provided critical assessment of leadership capabilities and training utilization that enhanced security for future operations and personnel development. Her command analysis had enabled proper organizational coordination and personnel assessment that prevented potential strategic inefficiency while maintaining operational security for classified training programs and leadership development. Her work included analyzing leadership systems, coordinating personnel responses, and providing command assessment that enabled successful organizational operations under challenging personnel management conditions. Each contribution demonstrated value of experimental leadership training applied to practical organizational situations that affected military effectiveness and command capability that protected operational success. The leadership assessment protocols that Martinez developed became standard reference for advanced personnel management, illustrating importance of maintaining institutional expertise in experimental leadership and value of personnel with specialized command backgrounds and training qualifications. Martinez's story influenced personnel utilization policies that emphasized identifying and maintaining access to leadership expertise throughout military organizations. 8 months after the rank restoration incident, Captain Martinez received promotion and assignment as Senior Command Analyst for Experimental Leadership Development, covering multiple military installations and organizational effectiveness programs. Her advancement reflected institutional recognition that exceptional leadership capabilities and command experience required appropriate recognition and opportunities for expanded responsibility that enhanced military effectiveness. Her progression from inappropriate logistics assignment to specialized command operations demonstrated military's capacity for recognizing and developing exceptional leadership talent when circumstances revealed capabilities and organizational requirements demanded specific expertise and command qualifications. The transformation also reflected institutional learning about importance of maintaining personnel with diverse leadership backgrounds and command training that strengthen military effectiveness. Today, Major Martinez leads the Advanced Leadership Assessment Division, overseeing experimental command evaluation and organizational coordination that supports personnel development installations throughout the command structure. Her team of leadership specialists continues to advance command assessment capabilities and organizational methodologies that protect military effectiveness from increasingly complex leadership challenges and personnel management requirements. Her leadership position represents culmination of career that experienced administrative misassignment and evolved into directing critical command operations that support the most sensitive organizational effectiveness missions and personnel development programs. The trajectory demonstrated how specialized leadership talent and experimental knowledge could transform both individual careers and institutional capabilities for advanced command effectiveness. The organization she directs has become model for integrating experimental leadership expertise with operational command requirements, attracting top talent from leadership institutions and military contractors specialized in command development. Her success has inspired similar programs throughout military command that seek to identify and utilize personnel with combined leadership training and operational expertise that enhances military effectiveness. The soldier they had assumed was just processing routine paperwork had become the organizational backbone for advanced leadership development operations, proving that extraordinary command experience often exists within personnel whose specialized backgrounds remain hidden by inappropriate assignments and administrative errors. Sometimes the most critical leadership capabilities come from individuals whose experimental knowledge has been channeled into protective service for their organizations, and institutional effectiveness often depends on recognizing command talent regardless of its apparent assignment or administrative history. Her story continues to inspire leadership analysts and command personnel who understand that experimental knowledge creates unique capabilities for protecting military effectiveness, demonstrating that specialized talent will find purpose when given appropriate opportunities to contribute to meaningful command missions and organizational security operations that strengthen military capability.